Ever wonder what the world's biggest companies are really thinking? Well, every quarter, they basically tell us in their earnings reports. In this explainer, we've dug through all of them to find the secret signals, the things that show what's actually going on in the global economy. So let's dive in.
See, these reports are so much more than just a bunch of numbers. They're a direct window into the corporate brain. They show you the pressures, the opportunities, everything these giants are dealing with in real time. This isn't speculation. This is the reality they're living in.
And you know what's wild? Companies in totally different fields selling completely different things are all reacting to the same massive forces. We've boiled it all down into 5 key themes that tell the story of our economy right now. And we're going to start with the loudest one.
Okay, theme number 1. This signal is coming through loud and clear. There is an intense, almost frantic investment going into artificial intelligence. But we're not just talking about cool new features. No, this is about building the very foundation of AI itself.
NVIDIA has a great term for this. They call it building AI factories. And these things require a mind-boggling amount of computing power. But here's the crucial part. They literally can't build them fast enough. The demand for this stuff is so huge that it's creating a massive bottleneck for the entire industry. The numbers absolutely back this up. Take Alibaba Cloud. Its revenue growth is actually accelerating, and it's being driven by AI products that have seen, get this, triple-digit growth for 7 quarters in a row. And this is not a one-off thing. Over at Amazon, their AI business is already a multi-billion-dollar operation with, yep, you guessed it, the same triple-digit year-over-year growth. They're deploying new chips as fast as they can, and they get snapped up instantly. Honestly, this quote from Meta just says it all. Demand for compute is exceeding their capacity. I mean, even a behemoth like Meta is saying, we can't keep up. And that imbalance is what's fueling this insane wave of investment. And this build-out is happening at every single level of the tech stack. You've got Oracle buying tens of thousands of GPUs. NVIDIA is fighting supply problems with highly specialized chip packaging. It even goes down to Samsung, which is developing brand new storage drives just for AI. It's an all-out race, from top to bottom. So while all that AI spending is red hot, those same reports are telling a very, very different story about, well, you and me. Let's look at theme number 2, the cautious, divided consumer. Here is your reality check. McDonald's global sales were actually down 1% in the first quarter. But more importantly, the traffic, the actual number of people walking in the door, was down even more than they expected in big markets like the US. And when you dig into who isn't coming in, the story gets even clearer. For low-income consumers in the States, traffic was down by nearly double digits. That is a serious pullback. McDonald's actually used this phrase, a truly divided US economy. They're saying that while higher-income folks are hanging in there, the lower and middle-income groups are really feeling the constant pinch of inflation, and they are cutting back. So here's the bottom line. That pressure you might be feeling in your own budget, it's not just in your head. These massive global companies are seeing it plain as day in their sales numbers, and they're changing their prices and their products because of your cautious wallets. Now, this consumer caution is happening at the same time as all this global instability, which leads us right into our third theme, geopolitics and supply chains, where politics comes with a very real price tag. And this isn't some abstract political discussion. This is the bottom line. Johnson & Johnson put a number on it, a $400 million hit from tariffs in just the first quarter. And that's mostly from tariffs on medtech between the US and China. So what are companies doing about it? Well, they're making some big moves. Amazon has been shifting production for its devices away from China for years now. Others like Abbott and AbbVie are building up extra inventory and pouring billions into manufacturing at home as a kind of insurance policy. And here's a really sharp insight from Abbott Labs. They've learned that tariffs are sticky. In other words, once they're put in place, they almost never go away. And that realization is forcing companies to look for permanent, long-term solutions, not just quick fixes. Now, all this pressure to adapt means a lot of big, established companies are having to fundamentally change what they sell. And that brings us to theme number 4, how old giants are reinventing themselves to find brand new ways to grow. AbbVie is a perfect case study. Its blockbuster drug Humira lost its patent protection, and sales just cratered, down over 50%. But the company was ready. Sales from its new drugs shot up by more than 57%, completely making up for the loss. It's a masterful pivot playing out in real time. And you see the same kind of thing happening in a totally different industry. Philip Morris knows that traditional cigarette volumes are going to keep declining. So what's their move? Their smoke-free products are growing like crazy. It's crystal clear where they're placing their bets for the future. So when you're managing all of this, the AI race, consumer caution, geopolitics, and reinvention, it requires a really tricky balancing act. And that brings us to our fifth and final theme. This is the core tension for pretty much every company out there right now. On one side, they are making these huge, expensive bets on the future, plowing billions into AI and R&D. But on the other side, they are laser-focused on cutting costs today, squeezing every ounce of efficiency out of their current business. It's like they're funding the future by tightening the belt right now.
All right, so let's just quickly recap the 5 big stories we're seeing. Number 1, the insane AI arms race that's already hitting its limits. 2, the cautious and divided consumer who's thinking twice before spending. 3, the very real cost of geopolitics on supply chains. 4, old giants having to reinvent themselves to find new growth. And 5, that constant tightrope walk, investing in the future while staying disciplined today.
So all these themes together, they paint this complex picture, right? You've got this incredible, rapid technological change happening against a backdrop of real uncertainty. So that leaves us with one final thought. What happens when the breakneck speed of AI collides with a cautious consumer and all this trade friction? How companies juggle those opposing forces, that is going to be fascinating to watch.